Welcome to the first of a series of tutorials on the very basics of AutoCAD. Today we're going to look at the GUI, the graphic user interface of the software, to maybe familiarize you with a little bit about what's going on here. Okay, so this part in the middle is called the drawing space, model space in particular. It's where we can create things such as circles, lines, arcs, so etc. etc. So this is where the work is done. These tools here under this draw subheading are the things that we can draw. So basically we use a rough and refine method of drawing here, where we rough out what it is that we want to achieve and then refine it as we go along using the modify tools. So for instance, let's get rid of some of this stuff, delete it. Also down here is the command line. The command line is very important because instead of having to click on icons all the time, skilled CAD users use shortcuts and commands to do the work. So for instance, if they want to create a circle, they wouldn't go up here and click circle, they would just hit C, and then at the dynamic input you get the C options. So then you would either click on circle, or if you knew that it was going to come up, you just hit C and then enter. Also on the command line you get information about the sequence of events that is to occur. So if you want to draw a circle, the first thing that AutoCAD wants you to do is either specify a center point for your circle or choose a different type of circle. So a 3-point circle, 2-point, tangent radius circle. And this, so we'll do the first thing and select the center point for the circle, which will be just roughly in the middle of the screen here. Click. Then if you look down at the command line again, it says specify the radius of the circle. So you can specify that radius by clicking somewhere on the screen or typing in a precise number like maybe 20,000. Oh, where did our circle go? Our circle went much bigger than the drawing limits of the screen at the moment. So to get our circle back is Z, enter, E, enter. So the Z stands for zoom and the E stands for the extent of what has been drawn so far. Using the mouse wheel, we can zoom in and out. Pressing them down on the mouse wheel, we can pan left and right, which is sort of useful to be able to do. Okay, so that's the basics of navigating the scene, of how the user interface works. You have a draw area, a modify area, annotation, which is dimensions and any text that needs to go onto the drawing. Layers we'll get into later, blocks you don't need to worry about yet, and properties likewise. That will be it for now, and we'll see you again next time. Okay, welcome to part 2 of our Basics of AutoCAD series. Today we're going to look at very quickly some creation tools or drawing tools and how to modify those things in line with our rough and refine technique, which I mentioned in the first video. We're going to create a couple of interesting little sacred geometry type of forms, geometries, using the circle and some polygons. Okay, so the first one is going to start out with just a circle here, slightly off to the left hand side. Draw a circle of any size. Before you proceed, you want to come down to your snaps and ensure that end point, midpoint, center point and intersection snaps are turned on, otherwise it'll make it very difficult to complete this little tutorial. So here we have our circle. when you have a two circles where the perimeter outer edge of the circle intersects another circle's center, this is called a vesica-piscis, and we can create one of those pretty easily like this. So press CO for copy, hit spacebar or enter to activate the command. Okay, so it says that it wants us to select the object to copy, so we're going to click on the object we want to copy and hit enter. The next it says select the base point. So this is like where you want to copy the object from. In this case, in the case of most circles, you would want to copy it from the center. So we're going to click in the center and then drag out towards the edge, and then when the O snap sees the perimeter of the next circle, it'll make that X and you click. Hit enter to end the command, and there you have it. You've created a perfect vesica-piscis. This is the first most basic step. Next we're going to use the array command, array classic specifically, to create what is known as the flower of life. This is a pretty cool thing to do and very easy. So we could go up here and click on the array, but that's far too difficult, so we'll just type ARR, and then array classic will pop up as the second option. Choose that, and we get this dialog. Don't be scared by this. By default it comes up with this rectangular array, but we don't want to create a rectangular array, we want to create a polar array. So items that move around evenly divided on a circle of given diameter. So the first thing to do is select the objects that we wish to use in the array. So click on this select objects button, select this circle here, this is the one we want to array, and then hit enter. Next we want to specify the center point for the array. The center point for the array can be found by clicking on this and then clicking on the center of this circle here. Nearly there. So the total number of items in our array will be 6, and the angle to fill will be 360. So then we'll hit preview, and we get this. We're nearly there. Looks pretty good. Hit enter to right click, or enter to accept the preview. So okay. Last but not least, we want to draw a circle that encapsulates the whole of this flower of life. So click on circle or type C, click in the middle of here, drag out to the intersection of this circle here, and click. And that's it. So that's the first one. Okay, we'll just move this guy over here a little bit. We're going to use the array classic command again to create, another flower. Why not? So the first thing that we want to do is create a polygon with 6 sides. So I'm going to type poly, and there we go, polygon. So the number of sides in our polygon is going to be 6. So a 4-sided polygon would typically be a square, 6-sided polygon is a hexagon. So a polygon is any closed geometry that is evenly divided. So regular polygon. Okay, so 6, enter. Again, specify the center of your polygon. So I'm going to click around about here. That's pretty good. The inscribed in a circle and circumscribed about a circle doesn't matter for this exercise. You can choose either one. I'm going to choose the inscribed one, and then drag, and it creates a nice even 6-sided polygon. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we're going to do an array classic again to array this polygon around itself. So let's go array classic. The dialog comes up, should be starting to look almost familiar. Select the object you want to array. So that's this guy here. Hit enter. Choose the center point for your array. This point here. Okay, so there are again 6 items in 360 degrees. I know this is going to be right, so I won't preview it. Hit OK. And there we have it. Another one. So, last but not least, you can make this stuff look pretty, I guess, by using gradients and hatch fills to pick out different parts. So let's try that. So I'm going to type hatch, hit enter. Okay, so hatches will be solid or angled with a pattern, or yeah. And what the methodology is to pick an internal point for your hatching. So I'm going to choose solid here. Go click in there. And then hit enter. And so it's filled those regions there. Let's try something else. If you choose gradient, you can have a gradient fill applied to different regions as well. It's worth noting that the default gradient is particularly disgusting. You wouldn't really want to use this, so you can change these the colors here for your gradients pretty easily. Just hit it, drops it down. Pick something that doesn't completely contrast with the yellow. Maybe something like that. So that's a pretty sunny looking thing. You've got gradients linear, cylindrical, and cylindrical. So I think we'll just go with linear for this. And pick, I'm going to turn this flower into 3 cubes, I think. So we'll do this. Hit enter. Do gradient again. Maybe change this to light blue and sort of dark blue, I think. Yeah, like that. And then, oh, blue and yellow maybe, but not quite as vigorous as the other one. Maybe more like that. There you go. So that's some pretty basic rough and refined sort of techniques to go from a simple circle to a flower of life based on a vesica Piscis type of scenario, to a 6-sided polygon that creates either flowers or cubes depending on how you look at the thing. Alright, give it a crack. Following on from our previous tutorial about creating the flower of life and the flowers that become cubes, I thought we'd throw in something a little bit more weird and controversial. So we're going to use the line tool and polygons to create stars. That'll be nice. So we'll just slide these guys out the way a little bit and start by typing polygon. Okay. Okay, so the number of sides we want in this particular polygon is 5. Specify the center of your polygon. So I specify here. Inscribed, don't think it matters too much. Let's see. Matters a tiny bit, I suppose, in this case. That'll do. Alright, so this is our starting point. Next we're going to use lines to create a star shape. So let's do that. So click on line, or you can type L and hit enter, which is probably much faster. And then working our way through this polygon here, we can create a star. I'm going to delete this outside one now. But before I do, you will notice that we started with a 5-sided polygon here. What do we have in the middle of our star is a 5-sided polygon, right? So what if you were to get the lines tool and go like this? Oh my lord. You've just created another polygon in the middle here. 5 sides. Get your line tool. Do this. Right click to end the command. You've done it again. It's one of the truisms of life, I guess. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you'll always get the same result. When you create something from the same shape, like this is called a fractal. Yeah, it's called a fractal. So things that are made up from the same shape over and over again are called fractals. So why don't you try and see how many stars you can jam inside of that star, and then inside of that star. Keep count. We'll have a competition. Okay, till next time.